So let's begin our demonstration with the topic of heat maps and conditional formatting. Heat maps are a great way to draw attention to important data in our Google Sheet. We can highlight particular values or outliers using conditional formatting. Applying a color scale allows us to quickly highlight lower and higher values in our data, and I find especially this a useful feature for analyzing the data in Google Sheets. So let's explore this functionality. A recent addition to the conditional formatting under Format tab in Google Sheets allows us to turn our data into a colored heat map with just a couple of simple steps. So when we click over conditional formatting, we can add a conditional format rule to generate a heat map. We can select a color scale here. A data heat map basically highlights each cell of our input data with a different color depending on the values. So here we have to select the range. We can select a range here. For example, we are selecting a weight column. So we have selected the range for weight column. We can set the color to a lighter shade for the higher figures and darker for the lower figures, and vice versa as well. It's totally our choice. So here we can set up the minimum value of our column by using number, percent or percentile. Let's say we select number. So it gives the minimum value of a column, and color is selected as green. Similarly, we can select a midpoint value here where we can choose the color from the color palette as well. Let's say we can select as this one, and we can set up the maximum value as well, and we can select any color depending on our choice. Maybe I select this one and I say done. So it has created my column into my heat map, and the rule says that the numbers which are nearing the minimum value of 40 are colored in green. The numbers which are near the midpoint and the midpoint values, uh, it is colored as blue, and the numbers which are near the maximum value are colored as pink. So yes, we can see this pattern in our column, and it's very easy to visualize such pattern with different kinds of color palette. Seeing yet another example, we have some sample numbers here. We can generate a heat map by providing the range of numbers from A1 to D8, and then we can select the color panel by setting up different colors. Here, instead of number, now we are choosing percentile for minimum point, midpoint and maximum point. And when we say done, it will generate a heat map like this, ranging of the numbers from minimum value to the maximum value. So minimum value is 0, so this is green, and maximum value is 39, so this is this color, and all the middle values are in the color palette range of these colors. We have a provision of conditional formatting under Format tab in Google Sheets. The cells, rows or columns can be formatted to change the text or the background color if they meet certain conditions with conditional formatting. So for this, we need to select a column on which we want to apply the conditional formatting. For example, I select the first name column here. And here we can check different kind of format rules, that whether the cell is empty, whether the text contains some condition, whether text does not contain this, text starts with this, end with this, and so on. So for example, here we select the text starts with some value, let's say D. So it will give me the names that are starting with D with the highlighted color as green. We can select the color, we can choose the formatting by changing the color of the cells, We can make them bold, we can make them italic, we can underline them, or we can strike them, or we can change the text color as well. For example, this one. So all the names that are starting with D have been colored and formatted with our custom settings. So this is very useful feature because it gives a clear visualization of the condition that we are actually looking for in our data. See some more examples. For example, here we are choosing weight column. Over the weight column, since it's a numeric entity, we can choose the formatting of whether the weight is greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, is equal to, not equal to, it's between some range of numbers, or is not between. So these are the things which we can work over the numeric data as well. So here we are choosing is between, and we can say the weights between, let's say 42 and 50. So it will select only those weights which are between 42 and 50. And here we can choose the formatting style as well. We can change it according to our need. So it has highlighted all the numerical entries for the weight which are between 42 and 50. Additionally, in the conditional formatting, we can choose to customize the formula according to the needs. For example, here we are using is even over the range of weights. So it will highlight all the weights of the employees which are even and which are odd that are not highlighted. So this is how we can customize the formula as well. We can also apply checks on dates over the date data. So we have date of birth in the employee database. We can see whether the date is today, tomorrow, some exact date. So maybe we can just give the exact date here. So it will select that particular date in the date of birth column according to the format. So it has highlighted the date where it is occurring in the date of birth column. So this is how the conditional formatting and heat maps are useful for visualizing the data in Google Sheets. Next, we will be seeing Explore option in Google Sheets. Thank you.